In the Bible, Jesus, I'm not sure which of the Gospels it was in or if it was multiple ones, but a rich man came to Jesus and said, what do I need to do to enter the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus said, sell everything you have and give it to the poor. And the rich man went away sad. And Jesus said, it's easier for a rich man to enter the kingdom, or it was easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. And so keep that in mind. And then going back to Ecclesiastes, Solomon was one, if not the richest man in the known world at the time. And he pursued every avenue of gaining wisdom. Yes, wisdom, God gave it to him. And also, not only that, but pleasure in everything that man thought would make him happy. And Solomon determined that all of that was futile and that it was empty and it was lacking. And that I think being a good man, trying to follow God, living your life for God, that's where you try to find true contentment. And so I think that those two things can really relate to America today and all of us within America. Even the most poor person in America is top 3% of the population of the world in terms of wealth. And so also, with the digital age, and most of us have internet access, computers. A lot of us have smartphones, iPhones. We have more knowledge, more connection than we've ever had in the world. And so, how I think that those two things in the Bible relate to us is number one, we are the rich, so it's harder for us to enter the kingdom of heaven than everyone else, and I think that's just because it's easy to get content to what we have and our easy lives comparatively to the rest of the population of the world, and it's easy for life to become kind of gray, for us not to see the forces of good and evil fighting against each other, as everything comes easy to us, and we don't have to fight so hard for comfort, for the resources to survive, and then the things that the extra things in life, the pleasure and leisure and spending time with family and friends, etc. And also with the time we have in our hands, we don't have to pursue finding the necessary basic goods. I need to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That would be a good way to explain and demonstrate the different levels of society, of man and his needs and then his wants. And so having all this extra time, we have a wealth of knowledge in our hands, and we consume a lot of information every day. Examples, what we read, books, magazines, on our phones, journal articles, TV, movies, just with each other, our jobs, on the phone. There's a lot of information going around. And so we're consuming more, we're taking in more information than ever before in the world. But I think quantity does not equal quality, and I think that we're losing quality at the expense of quantity. Or we're gaining quantity at the expense of quality. And I think that that's reflecting in our society and everything, in movies, books, in our relationship with each other, in our beliefs, theology, our reasoning, our desires, our wants. C.S. Lewis says that it's not that we desire too much, as we desire too little, and that doesn't mean physically necessarily, but or physical amount, but what is actually most important, what is rich in spiritual, emotional and physical, I guess all of it, but things that will last, long-term things. We are consumer culture. We want to be entertained. Short attention span. I think that culture today, especially with technology, it encourages and it increases sort of ADHD. And since I've learned that I've had it, and I've learned the symptoms of it, and learned how it affects me, I'm starting to see that, while many other people don't have the diagnosis and actually have it, just that doesn't mean that there aren't certain characteristics of it that people can't not have as well. And I see a lot of people, especially my generation and younger, that have more and more of these tendencies, these character traits of attention span, of restlessness, of impulsiveness, of feeling the need to be entertained every second, and the tendency to get bored unless there's something of high stimulation. And I think that's because of movies, because of the internet, TV, because of the development of capitalism, of making it all about us, and trying to, the market is trying to make us feel dissatisfied, make us feel we need this, this will make us happy, and using greater methods to do that, more entertaining, more stimulating, more distracting, commercials, ads, different things to capture us and enslave us, and just things like I hate TV commercials. They're so loud and they're so fast paced, and they're disorientating. They're just overloading my brain, and it's not a feeling of peace. And TV can do this, and then the social media can do this. It fosters a sense of you're not having a good time as much as this person. You're not getting as many likes. You don't look as good as that person. You don't have as many friends. It's just it sows seeds of discontent, and you're missing out. And it's just a false sense of reality. And articles, a lot of media talking about news or things that are happening. Things can look a lot worse than they actually are. It's mostly focused on the negative, and rarely does it portray things accurately, and doesn't give it the depth and the thought that is needed, and that needed to really understand the issue or be honest about it. There's a lot of lies out there, and so with this age of information and kind of this personal attack on our mind, we have to be more aware, self-aware, more cognizant, more active in fighting against this. If we're not actively doing that, then it's going to take us over, and it's hard, especially being ADHD. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to focus on what is most stimulating in the moment instead of what is long term, and what is prioritizing what is most important, what's most fulfilling and desirous and worthy of our time. And so I really feel that, and I can see how much that's impacted me and others. I think actually is struggling with all these things, maybe more than the average person because of ADHD. It helps me first be aware of it, and then confront it head on and deal with it and learn how to cope with it. And I want to help others do the same, to sort of come out of their slumber. But it's hard to do. The other day I was listening to Eric Metaxas, or actually it was on Twitter, and I follow Eric Metaxas. And Eric Metaxas, I don't know how to describe him. He's a radio talk show host. He has written books on Dietrich Bonhoeffer, on, I forget the name of the guy, William Wilberforce, 7 Men, 7 Women, and Miracles. So he's written those books. He's worked with VeggieTales. He's done a lot of different things. But anyways, I saw on his Twitter that he hosted a podcast, a show, and that he gave a number and you could call him. And I was like, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. I could talk to him myself. So I called him and I talked to him on a show, and what I asked is how we can foster a sense of community in one that is bent on destroying it. And he said that first of all, get established with church or synagogue or whatever religion you are. And that's very important. But just limiting technology, time on technology, is another thing. And I think that technology, social media, it gives you the false sense that you are engaging in community, engaging in relationships, when in reality you're just by yourself. And even if you're say texting someone or talking to someone over social media, it's not the same. It's not the same level of connection as you're just reading what each other's writing. You're not getting tone of voice. You're not getting body language. They say that the nonverbal is actually 80% of communication, and so you're missing 80%, and that's a lot, and that's very important for human connection and for just to be healthy and building community as well as life. And so social media is it's a shadow of what life is. And one thing too about technology and social media is that we're connected to it just like the snap of a finger. It's always right there, ready for us whenever we're upset. And it's something we easily become addicted to. And with the age of information, and so much demanding our attention, demanding our thoughts, directing us the way it wants us to go, we miss out on hearing God's voice and His direction and His wisdom. It's a lot easier for the devil to ensnare us, and that's really sad, and that's really really hurting our culture, hurting people around me, hurting myself. It's a hard thing to fight, and it's hard to know how to fight it, especially with how much our culture is becoming more and more dependent on technology and the use of technology. And it's hard to know how much to engage with that and how much to say no. And because of technology as well, it's harder to develop real relationships. It's one thing I talked about with Metaxas is that he actually put a post the other day, a article about how Democrats and Republicans, how their news feeds on Facebook, how opposite it was and how different it looked, because what you like on Facebook, what you share and everything like that, Facebook it puts similar things on your news feed, and it hides things that is not similar. So it's just becoming an echo chamber of the same voices, just like saying you're right, yes, complaining about one thing. It's just like all agreeing with you, instead of it just exacerbates the differences of Americans, and really it tries to make people similar come together, but everyone is unique in their own way, and the only way to come together is to learn about each other and your differences, and expand your worldview and your thinking. And so the more things we see that are similar to our own, the less we're doing that, and the less connection we're having, and it's fracturing community, and so it's harder to connect to people, and along with, like I said, the addiction to technology and social media, people thinking they're connecting, they're being with each other, they're really not. It's harder to connect with people in real life, see them face to face, and everything's demanding our attention, so we have less time for each other. We lose sight of what is truly important, each other and community. And for people like me who, as someone, I think, as an intellectual, it's hard for me to connect to people anyways. And I haven't had a lot of good community and relationships of people my age growing up. That makes it even harder, as another difficulty. So I'm just wondering, maybe what's your thoughts on this? What some experiences you have? Have you had success over some of these things? You have ideas for how we can work on community and guarding against our minds and our thoughts, and prioritizing, just everything I talked about. So you can just either write a reply or send me a video. Even better, send me a video yourself and reply it